Um, I wanted to come talk about this. Plus, my jerk chicken was burning the hell out of my mouth. I had to calm down for a minute. But listen, black women, you gotta stop listening to all the crazies on TikTok. Okay, it is so easy to go on to your stateassembly.gov's office, find out what's going on. Right, go to senate.gov, look up your senators, look and see what they're up to. Go to house.gov, see what the president is talking about and whatever those nuts are up to. Go to congress.gov, see what the hell they're up to, right? You can also simply Google anything you want to know about a certain anything in government. Like the other day, right, on the news, I caught, leaving my house, I caught an earshot of the Vice President, J.D. Vance, trying to threaten the reporters and threaten America by saying, okay, fine, the federal judges have made these orders, but what happens if the president doesn't listen to the orders or doesn't follow the orders, right? All right, now you may think, and even they may think, that because he has immunity, that he can do absolutely any and everything he wants as a president, but that's not really true. Because the reason that's not true is because you still have the Constitution, right? So if you don't have the Constitution, which is why they keep chipping at it all the time, but it is so much shit in that Constitution, it probably would take them all of every day of 4 years to finally make it go away completely. This is why you currently have people like my Attorney General and many other Attorney Generals across this country who are sticking together and who are going to court, and they're trying to pick away at the problem piece by piece, the same way those maniacs are trying to expand their madness piece by piece. So while Trump and his homies have a method to their madness, the government representatives have a method to theirs as well. And what they're doing is, last I heard tonight, when my Attorney General Tish James came on New York One, she explained to us, because she was talking about the mayor, she said, they are deciding. She didn't say right out, because in my state, in my city, my governor has the right to fire the mayor anytime they want to if they don't think the mayor's doing a good job, right? So the governor was on television the other day, I believe it was with CNN, and they asked her, what are you going to do about Adams? Because he clearly has made some type of deal to basically, I'm paraphrasing, to sell out the city and the people and the migrants for the erasure of his charges. They're not really erased. They just put them shits like on hold, because the lady who's in charge of the Department of Justice, what's the lady's name? Sassoon, Danielle Sassoon, I think it was. She refused to carry out the order from Trump. So she resigned because they was going to fire her. But the way it works is that the president is not allowed to do that, right? So even if they would have fired her, she could have gotten her job back by going to court, because that's not a president's power to fire people. Like all those people that y'all heard about that lost their jobs when he first got in, they're back at work because he does not have the power to do that. All right? So anyway, getting back to it. That same Attorney General Tish, she said they're having talks about what they're going to do with this mayor, because he wants to run for mayor again, but as a Republican, because I'm assuming he owes Trump and them a favor now. But what he doesn't know is that he could owe them whatever he wants. He's never going to be mayor again in this city, and he's probably going to get the same fucking treatment that the mayor before him got, which was de Blasio, when New York residents told him, you will never ever hold public office in this city again. And they fucking meant it. That mayor could never hold a public office. The only thing he could get, I believe, was like an adjunct professor job at one of the colleges for the city of New York. We're not fucking playing with him, and we're not playing with Adams either. So anyway, all those attorney generals, they understand and that Elon Musk is not an elected official. So he literally can be arrested for breaking constitutional law. These attorney generals also know they can go to court, which they have, and they've gone to court to begin the first steps to get rid of this motherfucker completely. So once they go get the injunction, right, that's to bar him from doing certain things. Then there's other levels up to the point where if he keeps breaking constitutional law, because this is what they're doing, he personally is not an elected official. When you're appointed, that means absolutely nothing, because the people did not elect you in. So the way this works is that ultimately they will set up the steps for him to go up the staircase to be arrested and eventually deported from the fucking country. And I think that is the key plan, right? Because what they do is, once the judge gives an order and I'm talking about Elon, doesn't comply, or he just vehemently denies it, right? Because we know he's an asshole. Then the court can issue a warrant for his arrest, and it could be executed by a number of different agencies. First being the marshal, who is underneath the Department of Justice. And if that lady says no worries. There's so many other people in the line of chain of command that could lock his ass up and grab him and deport him out of here. And I think that's what they're beginning to do. Because they're not stupid. But what y'all got to remember as American people is that nothing in this country happens overnight. Everything is a slow fucking process. Y'all should already know this. And that's why y'all should chill out with all of this fear-mongering online, because you making people crazy, and this is what they want. I had told y'all several videos back, like, this is all a game they play with people to get you all tight, upset, so that you don't pay attention to the shit that's happening behind the smoke screen. And you have to understand that, right? So stop worrying about all the crazy shit they throwing and seeing and looking to see what sticks on the wall. They throw 3 things at you to worry about while they only concentrate on getting one thing completed. Stop letting them fuck with your head. This is Dark Psychology 101. I have been telling, would y'all read the book Dark Psychology by, what's his name, William Cooper? Excellent book. It will explain all this shit to you. And when you see it unraveling in front of your face, you will be understand, oh, okay, that strategy such and such. Okay, I got it. And you'll calm down. So get back to what I was saying, because I chastised y'all enough, right? The attorney generals from 23 states are working on getting Elon's ass ousted from the government, because they could do that because he's not an elected official, okay? Now, as far as J.D. Vance is concerned, he is an elected official. He's also a fucking graduate of Harvard Law School. So he is using teaching tools from another crazy white man that was in Harvard and came up with this whole what if scenario about different things the courts can't really do because they can't really enforce it type shit back during Reagan's time, and they're applying that now. But the only thing is, what he doesn't realize is that the same way, shout out to Miss Danielle Saison, right? Like I told y'all in the video before, there's a lot of people in law enforcement, in the military, in different elected positions that are not going to go along with the bullshit. They're not going to go along to get along. They're not going to placate. And they don't give a fuck if they lose their job. And a lot of them don't give a fuck if they get arrested. A lot of them are going to do the right thing regardless of the fucking outcome. And you know what? That's the best fucking thing about human nature and the whole so-called battle between good and evil, because people who stand for righteousness. No matter what kind of righteousness we talking about, they will sacrifice their fucking lives for that. So that you should be able to rest on. But I don't mean rest on it without doing work, because you got to do work. You got to get out here for these special elections, and you got to get rid of all the Republicans, because they're the ones fucking up the country. They're the ones preaching all this hate speech and causing division, and actually thinking that this country is really going to go back to a place where only white people get to work, do whatever the fuck they want to do, and they could do whatever they want to black people and anybody else. I don't know what shit they smoking, but that's never going to be America. America will literally turn into fucking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome before that shit happens, okay? So, but anyway, relax. Listen to the shit they're saying. Google a little stuff about how does a vice president get impeached? How does a vice president be asked to step down from his position? Because there's tons of shit and tons of ways you could get rid of these people from their office. Now, the president is a little bit more tricky, only because he recently just got immunity from the Supreme Court. That was never originally in the books. So even though that's there, there's still like a couple of things that he could do that goes against the Constitution, that even the Supreme Court has to say, nope, sorry. We can't go by this, because this is like the law of the land. And if we go against the law of the land, then we're basically saying we don't have no power, or we shouldn't be sitting in these seats because we're ruling against the law of the land. And I think they want to be careful with that, because let me tell y'all something. We think everybody, or we know by, or we assume by their actions, that everybody on the Supreme Court is on Trumpy's side. But you never know. Because if the Supreme Court fucks up enough, and they do enough shit to piss the people off completely, then the Congress can actually do a special type of vote to do term limits on the Supreme Court. It's a whole fucking process, but it can be done. And the Supreme Court knows that. And they also know, too, that if the people get up and completely fucking go against the government like a real civil war, the first place they come in is to get them old motherfuckers on the court. That's usually what they do all the time when you know American history. The first place they go is to the lawmakers, the same way those January 6 dudes did. It's the history of America. They've always done that. But anyway, there are different ways to handle it. So all you gotta do is read the actual Constitution. Most times the Constitution is in school history books. If you have any floating around your house, go to the library. They have one. There's a full one online. You just have to find it, search it out and find it. There's supposed to be one on the White House's page, but I believe they took that one down. I don't know if they put it back up. But just read. And then ask Google certain questions that you're interested in. Get the answer and then fact check it. Like, go to different other sites, right? And try to find out if you get the same information or something very close to it. And then we still have libraries, right? So go to the fucking library. Utilize the libraries online and in person to get clear information, and to get a librarian to actually help you in learning how to do research for stuff you're not aware of or you don't know how to find out anything about. This shit is not hard, y'all. But you know what it is? It's because I was born during a time when we didn't have computers, we didn't have cell phones, and people actually had to engage with each other for us to know how to do things manually. Y'all better start getting on to that, because you might have to do a lot of things manually, especially if this country fucks around and pisses off Canada or Mexico to the point where they stop providing us the services they provide now. We're going to be in the dark, hungry, and fucking cold. Y'all ready for that? You need to start getting ready for that. What else am I talking about? So basically, in a nutshell, right? Stop trying to scare people to death on here for a couple of fucking dollars from TikTok. It is not cool. If you really want all this shit to change, start encouraging people to get their ass up off the couch and actually go vote. And to understand that you can simply change this whole shit around by getting rid of every Republican that you can. It is really that simple. When it's time to vote, put all the Democrats in that you can, because when there are more Democrats to outvote the Republicans, the laws will be changed. Laws can be recalled. They can change everything around. The only reason why he's winning is because the Republicans are all voting in the crazy shit he's calling for. And executive orders, let me tell y'all something. Those are supposed to be for emergencies and for different situations in America. He's not supposed to be writing executive orders every day to change the law. That doesn't work. Because all that happens is those orders get thrown right into federal court, and the judge goes, unconstitutional, can't do it, and rolls it back. So he's just doing things to see which ones stay, and to make you crazy, and to make you feel defeated, and to give up, as if, oh, we have no hope. They're just going to win. There's no reason for us to fight. There's always a reason to fight. You fight to the fucking end. The last motherfucker standing, okay? So, the other thing I want to say is, and don't be the asshole. Don't let us be the assholes like the migrants and the Hispanics that's running around acting stupid on this platform now. Where you at, black people? We helped you during slavery. When that's a bunch of bullshit. They ain't helped nobody, okay? That one fucking black president they had in Mexico, do you know his story? You should look it up. He helped black people in Mexico because of how they treated him before he became president. And then the white Mexicans went behind that dude's back, lined up or allied with America, killed that fucking president, and undid all the work that dude did in Mexico. Look it up if you don't believe me. Okay? So they need to stop telling that story, because they didn't really help us. The only thing that one president did was he allowed the fighters and the people who got to Mexico to just stay there. And if America came, those black people had guns. They were part of armies that they formed in America to fight America. And they were fighting them all along before they got to Mexico. So they were fighting them in Mexico too. They stood and fought with the Mexican army against the Americans. So it was not like they just was hiding behind them. Oh, help me. No, they was putting in work for their own selves. So they need to just stop. But the point of the story is, you don't want to be like them. And when it's your turn to vote in special elections, or in 2 years when the Senate elections and everybody else's seats are up, right, that are stragglers to the elections that's going to happen this year and next year, right? Because like this year you have mayor, you have council people, few other people I forget right now, but it's like all the municipal representatives, all the city people, and then 26 is a few more stragglers, like, you know, people whose terms are just ending and they need to be renewed. It's always like that. So anyway, every election, get out there and vote, and make sure you put the Democrats in so the Republicans are the minority vote, so you can stop all this crazy shit, right? And you could get back DEI, you get back everything you lost, and start living your lives again. It's ridiculous, right? But don't be like them. The migrants that's talking shit and getting their asses handed to them right now, because when we told them back in November to vote for Kamala because we knew this shit was going to happen, they didn't give a fuck about what we had to say, because they thought that they would be okay as long as they are considered and thought of better than black people. As long as they could feel superior to us, which they're not, they would feel good about themselves. And now they see that these white folks don't give a fuck about them and are treating them really fucked up. Don't let us be the same way. Not by white people's treatment, because we don't give a fuck about them. They've been treating us crazy since forever, right? But don't not take action like those dummies didn't, and we get fucked up. So when you have an opportunity and the responsibility to vote Democrats back into office and get rid of all those seats that are open, held by Republicans, and put the Democrats in it, make sure you do it. Because all those people getting those seats back mean we end the abortion ban. We end stupid shit like lowering the age of consent, lowering the age of marriage. They're trying to, do y'all understand what they're doing? They're trying to legalize pedophilia. By lowering the age of consent to 13, you are literally giving adults the permission to fuck children. By lowering the age of wives or little girls that want to get married, you're giving consent to pedophilia. You're also giving consent to trafficking. Because if you marry a 13-year-old girl, 14 or 15, she's your wife now legally, right? So if you decide to take her out of the country, never bring her back, but sell her to 3 or 4 countries, who's going to say you can't do that? Because isn't that your wife? Even though that's a full fucking whole child that is a minor, that is supposed to be protected under laws that cover children. You have to start looking at what they're doing beyond the surface and look at all the fucking catastrophe and consequence behind it. So this is why you get the Republicans out of office. And I don't give a fuck if you don't want to, I don't want to be affiliated with parties. This is a 2-party fucking country. You have no choice. You ain't never seen no liberal become president, no working party person, no independent. Stop fucking playing. Stop wasting resources. That's the reason why people right now are saying, where's Jill at? Where's your girl Stein? She was talking big shit during the elections. Now the bitch is missing in action. Don't be like that. Learn the lessons. Play the game and win the motherfucker. Y'all always talking about we don't play checkers, we play chess. You need to be playing this game with all your fucking chess, right? If you get rid of all these Republicans in office, the Democrats will be back in. They will put back everything that needs to be put back to stabilize the system. Because this shit is frustrating every day. And if it continues over the next 4 years without y'all voting them out as much as you can, all of us is going to be out of a job. Because what this president is going to do is he knows he can only fuck with the federal on his level because they're on his level. But once he gets enough people in office that are Republicans, he could use the governors of each state and attorney generals who are Republican in those states to take the jobs away from the people who work from the state, nonprofits for the state, all that type of stuff, right? Everybody except for the white people, because the way they want this country to be is they want everybody else to not have a job except for white folks, right? And then once they control the state, they're going to go down to the cities and control the mayors. And then they'll get rid of all the city workers. This is thinking beyond the bullshit. And this is how you destroy an economy, which is what they want to do. They don't give a fuck if you and me don't eat. They want to go back to that time in America, which was called the Gilded Age, where a whole bunch of rich people, I think it was like 10 families. I only know a few of them. The Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, what was the other motherfucker's name? Oh my goodness. I always get stuck at like 2 or 3 because I really don't give a fuck about them. The Vanderbilts. It's more. I forget. But those robber barons, these rich people today are trying to go back to that time period. And that literally was a time where only rich white people had jobs and money and everybody else was like literally dirt fucking poor, living off the ground, cooking and growing their own food from the ground, if they could. In jail like a motherfucker, dying of disease, lack of vitamins, all type. It was crazy. It really was. So you have to understand what they're doing. And it's when you get past all that silly shit you've been conditioned to believe, like my vote don't count, they don't never do shit for us anyway, the system don't work for me, da, da, da. You gotta just do. Two things can be true at the same time, y'all. You could believe all that shit, but still put in a good faith effort to make change. If you don't do anything, you never know what could be or what could happen or how you could actually change stuff for the better. So please don't be like that. You could be ignorant, stubborn, and not giving a fuck after we get these losers away from the presidency of this country, you know? Vote. Put the Democrats in every seat you can. Get all these fucking Republicans out of office. And the biggest lesson to learn is, when we finally do get this country back on track, don't ever allow these fucking Republicans to get to this level of power again. Do y'all understand that? Everybody that's not rich, male and white, you better vote against these motherfuckers each and every time. Because they are literally fucking showing you right now that as much as you want to be white, as much as you think you white, they don't see you as white and they don't give a fuck about you. They got travel bans against Muslims again. They have hate for everybody. They are deporting everybody, flying people to countries they don't live in, and y'all are sitting here watching this shit in real time. So when they are defeated, you better not ever let those motherfuckers get to this point again. And I'm out.